Um, Something I've been like curious about to chat about is
Mhm.
plant medicine, and I know that you've been
Yeah.
working with it this past year.
Mhm.
Um, so I don't have like much like healing experiences with plant medicine. Um, I've delved into things like mushrooms and stuff in the past, but it was never like a healing thing. So how I know you're big into Kambo,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
how what's that? What's that like?
Kambo, it is a sacred frog from the Amazons.
Mhm.
And how I came to Kambo, I give thanks for the frog. Um, and what happened is one day I was working with a dear sister of mine who was going through some, challenges, and I was able to observe her as she was experiencing all of these things. Well, throughout the process ended up being where she ended up having to go to the hospital,
Mhm.
and I was not able to really be there for her. It was when COVID came. COVID was there, so they have limited people that can be in the
Mhm.
car, like all of these things. And I said to my spirit team and guides, I don't ever want to be in a situation where I don't have all of the tools I need to be able to serve my people.
I feel I'm no sorry, I don't want to interject, but that hits the nail on the head for the fear for me.
Mm-hmm,
I realized during COVID that
mm-hmm,
I need to get an army of people, not an army, but I need to find people that I can rely on that are outside of the system per se. And I still am working on that. I think you've kind of dived into it more, but I'm like trying to scratch it. I'm scratching, trying to find it. So, yeah,
yeah.
that was a big lesson or realization was, yeah,
Yes.
I needed resources. I still do.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so with that, and with her going into the hospital, I called out. I mean, I was hurt. I mean, I was upset about this. I said, not ever again. Well, I need the place where people can come to me and they can actually go through their healing process the way that they need to without there being any disturbance of neighbors or whatever. Just being on land where I can really just allow people to experience what they need to experience so that this thing can be relieved, and for the rest of their lives they can live in paradise. And so I called out, like, whatever the tools are that I need you to bring it to me.
Wow.
And so I ended up just happening to be I ended up drawing into a local medicine man who at first I didn't even know about Kambo myself. Um, but he was actually talking about something completely different, but it resonated with me, and I met up with him and his wife. And then he said, have you ever experienced Kambo? I said no. And I was like, well, what is that? So he began to tell me a story that it's a detox medicine.
Okay.
And so what it does is it allows you to purge out things that you need to purge. The frog has its own intelligence. So the frog will come into the body through an open gate, and then it'll seek out, look for where you need, where you need the most relief. Okay. And then it'll cause the body to purge. So, so that can mean vomiting, that can mean a number of things. It is also a purging on a spiritual level and an emotional level, and a mental level. Okay. So it's a purging within the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual realms. All of these realms are you're able to be purged out. So some people may not throw up, but then they'll find themselves boohoo crying for the rest of the day because it's purging out something that they were grieving,
Mm-hmm.
and they needed to share those tears. So what is the story behind it? And hopefully I get everything right. Was that apologies about that. There was a medicine man, I believe he was in the Amazons, somewhere in South America, and his village became sick. Everyone became sick and people were dying. Don't that sound familiar? And he says he was trying everything, and things weren't working out, and he almost like beside himself, like, what am I to do?
Mm-hmm.
So he said, I need to go see Mama Aya. So he went to see Mama Aya, also known as ayahuasca,
Mm-hmm.
okay, the grandmother plant. And he went to see Mama Aya. He told Mama Aya, look, my people are dying, they're suffering, they're sick. I've tried everything and nothing's working. And Mama Aya says this: you must become the medicine to heal your people.
Mm-hmm.
And he turned himself into a frog, the Kambo frog. And then he multiplied himself millions of times, and he sent himself out into the forest. And then when he came back from his journey with Mama Aya, he had to go into the forest and seek out that frog. The frog, again, was himself.
Mm-hmm.
Self that he created as medicine for his people. He told himself exactly what to do, all of this on his journey. So then when he found himself in the forest, which was the medicine, he extracted the sweat from the frog and he began to place it on his people, and they began to recover and become better.
Wow.
So this medicine means something to me because it came to me that one of the biggest things for our people is that, there's a purge that needs to happen on the earth, a
Mm-hmm.
great purging. And we're experiencing that even with people, and they're making their transitions out of here. We're experiencing purging in several different ways on the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And so the more that we all purge and allow ourselves to relieve ourselves of these things and get more out, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, it naturally begins to create healing for us. Of course, with anything that has to do with sacred medicine or plant medicine, we don't use words like it's a cure,
Right.
you know, or things like that. Because one, the system has been set up where those words can't be used.
Right.
Um, However, these are tools that we have access to, that we can utilize for ourselves, and then we can live that experience and share it with others and say, this is what it was for me,
Right.
you know? And, like for instance, with Kambo, ah, it's a warrior medicine. So it's like you really have to sit with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You get all these different feelings like in your body, like that fear
Mm-hmm.
that people are, really causes you to face some things and allow yourself to let it go,
Yeah.
and purge it out. Yeah.
This is like a day thing, or like does it linger on? Like you have to does it stay with you?
So, yeah, of course it's gonna have a, it's a lasting, but the process of like the whole experiment, the whole experience is that you're really sitting with the frog on your, we open gates on the skin, and you're literally sitting with that for about 15 minutes. Okay. um and then we take the medicine off, and then after that time, that process of time goes by. Yes, your body is recovering, your body can still feel the medicine moving because now it's gone. And important thing to say, it cleans around your cells.
Mm.
Okay, so that washing of cleaning around your cells is going to definitely have a lasting effect because it's clear now, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And so it's cleaned around those cells. However, for like, if let's say me and you had a private session, you would probably only need to reserve about an hour.
Mm.
That's just to give yourself time for to rest and, you know, um, things like that after, if you want to be able to sit for a minute and or whatnot. But the just from beginning, with the medicine actually on you, that's only about 15 minutes.
Okay. And like, just so most people, do they feel called to something like this? Like how, like, or is this something like someone who's already grieving might
Mhm.
like be helpful
Yeah.
or something like that? Okay.
Yeah, I believe so. I feel like medicines like what you talked about, shrooms,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
they definitely call you. Kambo does have a certain calling. Sometimes people that are called to Kambo begin to see frogs.
Mm.
Um, there was a man that actually saw a frog look just like the Campbell frog, and he'd never experienced Kambo before. But then I asked him, I said, "Have you ever heard of Kambo?" And then when I told him about the Amazonian frog, he said, "I have to show you something. This is gonna make you laugh." And he showed me a picture of a frog that was sitting outside of his door that was singing to him every day. And so, so sometimes people do experience different things like that. So, but it's not necessarily like it has to be. Kambo is not a psychedelic type of medicine at all.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're tripping.
Right.
You are, the frog is actually going in and like just showing you things that's in there.
I like that.
Mhm.
Do you
Yeah.
think that that this stuff can be done without, like, do you think it's like a healing session? Like you would come and you can face all this stuff, or do you think Campbell brings out something that you might not even know? Or like that, like does it, can you get the same effect without Campbell by just like doing a healing session, or do you think it's like kind of necessary to experience? I don't know.
For me, Kambo is its own experience, just like the many other healing modalities. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It's its own experience. It has its own effects. I do feel that it is very important. I
Yeah.
feel like it's a very important medicine. Um, because like, like I am, holding a ceremony for myself this week with
Mhm.
Kambo, and it's definitely a medicine that you sit with and you work with and you do your work with it, and what is needed to be revealed for you for your personal journey,
Yeah.
it'll be revealed to you, you know
Yeah.
um, so yes, but I believe that it's valid. I believe that it's important. Some things that we're purging are, these ancestral things, past life conditions that are still affecting us and localized within this body or this experience. So like, again, all of these are different stories. However, like being in this position on this earth where we've been, my personal feeling is that this is definitely a medicine that is required for our people. It's been helping people with mental conditions,
Mhm.
schizophrenia, bipolar, like allowing these things that have been trapped in the mind
Mhm.
to become more balanced.
Mm.
And it's very, very helpful for depression,
Mm.
allowing to purge depression, anxiety, things like that. So there's different, like I said, it's going through, you may be experiencing certain effects in the physical body, but it's definitely assisting with the mental, the emotional, so even though we could be doing all of these different healing works, like if you feel that you're called to, if a person feels that they're called and they hear about this and they're like, I believe that I would like to have a Kambo ceremony,
Mhm.
and do it and have your experience with it, and then allow that experience to share with you what you need to know.